Hi, and welcome to Dynasty Auction Fantasy Baseball Rules video. We're going to use this video to communicate our rules. We also have them in written form, but one of our very prestigious owners, Ben Roiger, suggested that we put a video together in order to make it a little more clear, perhaps, what some of the ins and outs of the rules are. And I did dress up for you. I put on my tie from that closet back there. I don't do that for everyone, so you should feel very privileged. I actually did one of these videos already, and it took me 19 minutes, so I'm going to try and make it go a little bit faster this time. So I'll cut right to the chase. For those of you that don't know me, I am Kalen Wilson, and my brother and I, Nick, will be commissionering this Dynasty League. It's something that we've been thinking about and talking about for a while, and it's finally come to fruition, thanks in large part to everyone who was interested. So thank you, and yeah, let's just get right into it here. We'll be using Fantrax as our league website. It's a really nice site. May not look awesome, but it is a really nice site as far as functionality, and all the programmers are really responsive, so that's good. We're going to have an auction draft with $260 auction dollars to spend every year, and our draft right now is tentatively scheduled for March 19th. That's a Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. So if you can't make that, please let me know or Nick know as soon as possible so that we can get another one scheduled. The season starts March 22nd with the Diamondbacks playing the Dodgers down under in Australia. So let us know if you can't make that, and then maybe include some dates or times that would work. It's getting down to crunch time. We have 14 guys we got to get all together at once, so hopefully we can make it work. We're going to move on to rosters now. We'll have daily starters. So every day you can set your lineup differently than the day before, but we'll have one of each of these hitter spots. Catcher, first, second, third, short, left field, center field, right field, and then we'll have a UTIL. That can be anyone, any hitter. It's a little different with left, center, and right, so take that into account. You can look on the website in order to determine, who's eligible at each position. We'll have 5 starting pitcher positions and 3 relief pitcher positions, and we'll then have 8 bench positions. So that'll kind of make up our roster: 17 active players plus the 8 bench players. As far as the starting pitching is concerned, that we have one rule for maximums, and that's games started. It's a little bit different, but what you get is 10 games started per week, and if you go over, we just subtract your highest pitcher score from your total score on the day that you went over. So for instance, if on Saturday I had 9 pitchers that I've already pitched, and I go into Sunday and I have 2 pitchers that go, that puts me 1 over the limit, and I'm going to subtract the pitcher that scored the most points. I'm going to subtract his points from my total points that I scored for the week, and that would be my total. So it's not the worst penalty in the world, but you're going to want to start the appropriate 10 so that you can maximize your points. Entry fee is going to be $50. If anybody has a problem with that, let me know. It could be more, it could be less. I don't care. We tried to keep it semi-low, at least for now, just so we could get people in, and that wouldn't be a limiting factor. Payouts, you can take a look at. The one thing I will mention is that the regular season payouts are for points scored, not record. Record's going to get you get the seeding determined, but the top 3 point scorers will get money. And then once you get to the playoffs, it's all about seeding, and whoever wins, you can take a look at the documentation. It goes 65% of the remaining pool goes to first, 22.5% goes to second, and 12.5% goes to third. Pickups are going to be first come, first served as soon as the draft is over through the regular season. And then there will be no pickups during the off season. If a player is dropped, they do hit waivers. So we're going to have a waiver system for that. I think it's 2 days. It's set up for 2 days. And our waiver priorities will determine who gets that player when their waiver period is up. As far as the Dynasty rules are concerned, when you draft a player, you're essentially signing them to a 1-year contract, and that we're referring to that as year A. What that gives you the right to do is, we're calling it a team option for a 2nd year, and that's going to give you the ability to sign that player for a 2nd year for the exact same cost. So I'm going to use Byron Buxton as my example. If I get him for $2 this year in the draft, I get to keep him for $2 next year. And then after that, year C is where you just determine how you want to sign that player. Do you want to sign him to a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, 3-year deal, etc., etc.? And the idea here is that if for every year you add, you're adding $5 to his purchase value. So if I want him for 4 years, I have to add $20, $5 per year to his purchase value, which was 2. So that means that Byron Buxton for 4 more years after the initial 2 is going to be a $22 player. Now I could make him a cheaper player if I keep him for 3 years, but then I don't get him for that 4th year. You got to kind of weigh your pros and cons there. If you want to keep a guy for a long time, it's going to cost you. As far as dropping a player that you have under contract, there is a penalty for that, and every year at the auction that you don't have that player, but he's still you've signed him for, you're going to get half of his salary knocked off of your auction money. So instead of $260, you'd get less. So if I signed Byron Buxton for 4 years, and let's just say he tore his ACL, his career's over, for the remainder of his contract, every year that I don't have him, I'm going to be taking $11 off, half of 22 off of my $260, and that's all I have left to spend. So we want to make sure that we're careful about how long we sign a guy and which guys we sign. If a guy retires, his contract's up, you don't have to worry about it. No penalty, to be explicit. Let's see. Once a player's contract is up, he returns to the player pool, and he can be drafted the following year. Players that you pick up that were not drafted are going to be considered $5 players, like you drafted them for $5. If I drop Byron Buxton and someone else picks him up, he's going to assume that contract. And what that basically means is that if I drop him I'm in a 2nd year of a 4-year contract for $22, then that person that picks him up pays him $22 for the remainder of his contract. So that's kind of how that works. The scoring is points-based. Home runs are worth 10, and triples are worth 6, doubles 2, singles, doubles are 4, and singles are 2 points. You can go through and check all those out. I put a couple of examples in there of like what a top 20 player would average, so you can kind of see, get a feel for that. We already talked about min and max games. Our matchups will be head-to-head each week, so you'll be matched up against one other person, one other owner, and whoever has the most points at the end of the week gets a win. That's how we determine records. As far as the playoffs are concerned, we do extend the matchup period from 1 week to 2 weeks, so that's kind of nice. Just to kind of not just make the playoffs longer, but to give every team a chance. A 2-week period is a better representation of your team's value than a 1-week period. Already covered daily lineup submissions. Also covered that the top 6 teams will make the playoffs based on record, not overall points. So the top 2 teams based on record are going to be given the byes, and then there will be 4 teams that will play in order to move forward to the 2nd round, where the top 2 seeds will go. or will start playing. Let's see, we will have one division. We won't have multiple divisions. Just keep it simple. And schedule will be randomly selected by Fantrax. And ties will be broken by head-to-head record and then overall points, total points. And I don't anticipate ever getting to a tie after that point. But if we do, I think it's just like a coin flip. I don't know exactly what we had set up on the site, but that is pretty much it from start to finish. I want to take a look at the email that should be in your inbox right now because you're watching this video. Let's see. The first part of the season is a little goofy with the games in Australia. So the first scoring period is going to be like 16 days long, I believe. So it's going to be from the 22nd through April 6th. And basically what that means is that the season essentially starts the last Monday in March, but there are 3 games before that. And we're just going to kind of move those 3 games up into the first real week. So that's how we're going to do that. I want to encourage everyone to be active, communicate with the league as well as us, the commissioners. It's really not our league as commissioners. It's our league as everyone's owner, all the owners. We really want to encourage everyone to give input. It's something that I want to make sure everybody's enjoying, and the only real way to make it as good as possible is if everybody contributes. So now's the time to let us know if you have any questions or suggestions. We can make changes all the way up until the draft. I have no problem with that. But once the draft gets started, any change we make would have to be, pretty. It wouldn't be able to affect this year. It would essentially have to be pushed out till next year. So now's the time to do it. Let's see. I'm going to be sending out Fantrax invites as well as LeagueSafe invites. LeagueSafe is how we're going to be paying for our league fees. Makes it easy on me. Honestly, that's really the only reason, me and Nick, it's the only reason we're doing it. So let me know if you don't get those emails, or Nick know, and if you have any questions about any of that. Otherwise, the baseball season's almost here. I'm really excited about this league and the season itself. Gosh, yeah, that's pretty much it. My phone number, I guess, is 507-380-1541, and Nick's is 507-381-8331. And you should have our email addresses. If you want to send me your phone number or Nick, or email them, I can put you in kind of a text message group so that, if anything does come up, I can email you as well as text. Sometimes that's a good way to get a hold of you. But other than that, I don't know some of your last names, so if you want to maybe send a little note saying, hey, I got this email. Don't have any questions. Draft works for me. Here's my name, number. That should be it. I got everyone's email address, so that should do it. Thanks for your interest and for joining our league. If you have any ideas about what we should call this league, Dynasty Auction is way too boring for me. So let me know if you have any suggestions there. I'm sure we'll come up with some good ones. So, all right, that'll do it. Bye.